Howdy, Cowboy Gamer here, and you're watching what should be a multiple part series on Pokemon Go. This video will be in relation to people that are just starting out on the game. However, future videos will delve into stuff such as taking gyms, attacking gyms, raising the prestige, holding gyms, item usage, best ways to use item usage, best ways to level, things like that, and just kind of resource management. But since this is the first video and this is the start of the game, let's say you just downloaded Pokemon Go. You are turning on the game. What do? You have two options, and these are probably the best case scenarios. Uh, you can either decide you are going to spend money, real money, on this game or not to start. If you decide you're okay with spending a little money, I highly recommend you drop a couple of bucks into this game right off the bat. It is the fastest way you will turn from level 1 to level 5. How you do that is by buying one lucky egg. I think it's a 99 cents worth of gold, or it's 100 in-game currency, or 150. It's something like that. It's really close. So a couple of bucks gets you in and gets you a lucky egg. Why is a lucky egg good? A lucky egg is good because the first time you see a Pokemon, let's say you're in a field, you see a Pidgey, you throw a Pokeball, you catch a Pidgey, you get 100 usually experience for the throw, kind of the catch. You get 500 for the first time you have seen that Pidgey and added it, if you catch it, added it to your Pokédex. So you get a XP, so you get a lot the first time you catch a Pokemon of every single type. Well, not type, every single evolution. If you are using the lucky egg instead of 500 for the first time you see and catch that Pokemon, it is 1,000. So pretty much you're earning double experience for as long as you have a lucky egg in effect. A lucky egg is only in effect for 30 minutes. Most of the items in this game, if they're activatable and they're in an effect or they add an aura, it's a 30-minute window that you have. So if you are okay spending money, I highly recommend you buy a lucky egg to start off. It is wonderful. At higher levels, lucky egg really doesn't matter as much because the only time you really want to activate it is when you're going around in the game and you see a Pokemon and you're like, oh, that was a silhouette. I don't have that Pokemon. Before you click on it to catch it, activate Lucky Egg because it'll give you bonus experience. But at that point, you're getting so much experience from other things. The doubling of the XP isn't that crucial at higher levels, especially if you're only going to use one Lucky Egg, probably for the one Pokemon you're going to see, unless you go to another region of the world out of your normal comfort area. It might be worth it to have some Lucky Eggs. But we're talking about starting off the game. So let's say you're not going to spend money. That's okay too. Until you hit level 5, you don't have to decide to do gym battles. You don't have to worry about picking a team. You have the ability to just have really basic form of the game, very simple. But you turn on the game, and what happens? You get your 3 starter Pokemon. It does not matter who you pick. If you want to pick the favorite that you did way back when you were playing Gen 1, go ahead and pick it. These are usually 10 to 12 CP, and CP stands for combat power. The higher the combat power, the more damage and the better moves, just the all-around better the Pokemon is. The more HP usually, all of that. One of these 3 starters doesn't matter. You'll never do anything with them probably ever. In fact, I picked a Charmander to start with. I've already caught another Charmander and seen a Bulbasaur and caught it. And if I had others to other Charmanders and Bulbasaurs to transfer these to the professor and get points or candy, I would totally evolve these if I could. Well, probably not, because all of these had the lowest combat points I've seen, and they were all pretty worthless. The first Pokemon you catch is probably going to be better than your starter. So don't get attached. Don't name it and say, this is going to be my star of the entire game. It will ruin you in the long run. So you start the game, you're at basic level, you are given a whole bunch of stuff. You have your bag, you have you have 2 incense, you should have start, and you have some Pokeballs, and you're going out into the world. I totally recommend that you find a park or a area with a lot of Pokestops. It doesn't have to be a ton, 5 or 6, maybe on a loop. If you don't know where Pokestops are in your area, check your nearest park. That's probably the main goal. Otherwise, you can go to Google, type in Ingress, Ingress, Ingress Intel map, type in your zip code, zoom in and find parks, find areas with lots of circles. This is not the best way for Pokestops. There's no map yet created or a website that you can go to find Pokestops, but in Ingress, this was Niantic's first game. They used most of the Ingress portals to create gyms and Pokestops. So this gives you a rough idea. If there are a lot of circles on the Intel map, there's probably some Pokestops there, and that might be a good place to go and start. Do not start in your hometown area with just one Pokestop, or just in your home couple of blocks. Yes, you can do that, but you're going to catch very few Pokemon to start off, and you're going to be walking tons of blocks to catch these. It's just better and easier where there are multiple Pokestops. This also, if you have it on kind of a loop where there are a few Pokestops in kind of a circle area or a couple of block radius, you can literally start at one Pokestop, you go to the Pokestop, it shows up a little circle, you flip your finger sideways across it horizontally, and it spins the circle. This pops a bubbles with either Pokeballs or other items. You click on them, you get the items. Usually you'll get eggs. As soon as you get an egg, you have one incubator that you can use infinite amount of times, but you can only be incubating one egg. As soon as you catch an egg, click that Pokeball. Left side is Pokemon, click that, and in the top right there are 2 tabs. Click the eggs, and click the egg and put it in an incubator. Always have an egg in the incubator. If you don't have any eggs, go to more Pokestops, get eggs. Don't buy a lucky egg, because it's not the same egg. It doesn't work like that, but always have an egg in your incubator. But if you go to a park and you're going to walk around in circles, you can go to a Pokestop every 5 minutes and flick it, get your items. So if you set that in a loop that takes about 5 minutes to get all the way around the loop, it is wonderful, because you can just make a couple rotations and you farmed a lot of Pokeballs or other items as you level up. So that's a great thing. All the while, you can see Pokemon, which will usually be close to these Pokestops or not too far away, that you can get to. If one pops up as you're walking slowly, click on it, throw a Pokeball. That's your key. Let's say you've seen your first Pokemon, clicked on it. Well, technically you do it with your starter. When you hold the Pokeball, there will be a white circle on the Pokemon, and then there will be a circle that will range in different colors as you hold on to the ball. If you just push it down, you'll see the colors shrink smaller and smaller and smaller until it hits nothing, and then it expands back out to the full range of the circle. If it will also, the circle can change colors. It can start at green. Green is the best for you. Yellow, orange. If the circle is ever red, that means usually the CP of the Pokemon is very difficult to catch and higher than your level. Usually, if you have a red circle, I would figure out to use a berry or something to kind of increase your chances of catching. Otherwise, you need to be able to throw really good Pokeballs. How you do that? Hold the Pokeball, and as the circle shrinks, if you slide your finger up quick enough and you release on top of that smaller circle, then you will have a better throw. The smaller the circle, the better throw you can accomplish if you get your finger inside that little circle. If it's about 70-75% and you get the finger let off in that circle, it's about a nice throw. If it gets a lot smaller, 25-30, I've gotten mostly great throws. These also get you a little bit more bonus XP. It also increases the chance that you will catch the Pokemon and the Pokemon will not break out of the Pokeball. So that's why it's important to get good at throwing nice throws and good throws. Or great throws, I mean. But it's not always required. A lot of times you'll just come across really low CP Pokemon and you are going to throw the Pokeball. You don't have to get it super great. It can just be in that regular circle, that white circle. You're going to catch it because it's not a difficult Pokemon to catch. That's why the starters are so easy. They're really low CP. You're going to catch them without them breaking out of the Pokeball. All right. So, you're still not level 5 yet. Do not, I repeat, do not transfer out your Pokemon. You do this by clicking on the Pokemon, the Pokeball, click on Pokemon, you'll see your entire list. Use the bottom right hand thing and sort it by whatever works the best. If you want to do it by number, by name, whatever. You will see a ton of Pokemon. You will probably have 250 slots for Pokemon, 300, somewhere around that. But do not transfer your Pokemon out until you get a lot closer, at least 100, maybe more. You don't need to transfer because it probably won't benefit you in any way, shape, or form yet. You can get a lot closer to filling up the Pokemon meter up to the 250. If in case you want to disregard me and you want to transfer, you do this by clicking on the Pokemon you want to transfer, and then you'll see the list of what its combat points are, or combat power is, how much experience, what it needs to evolve it, power it up, how much dust. As you scroll down, you'll see a map of where you caught it. At the very bottom is a transfer button. If you click that, it will say, do you really want to do this? And you click yes or no. What you're essentially doing is taking that Pokemon and throwing it out into limbo. It says it's going to the professor, but you're just transferring that one Pokemon for one candy of that Pokemon type, or Pokemon group. So let's say you are transferring out a Pidgey. The Pidgey candy is all the same. It is the same for a Pidgeotto and a Pidgeot. If you transfer out a Pidgeotto, you'll get one Pidgey candy. If you transfer a Pidgeot, you get one Pidgey candy. You also get candy when you catch a Pokemon of whatever type. You will get 3 of that type's candy. So if you catch a Pidgeotto, a Pidgeot, or a Pidgey, any number of times you can catch 50 Pidgey. And any combination of Pidgeotos, and Pidgeots, if you catch 50, you have just gotten 150 Pidgey candy. The candy is good because you can only use that type of candy to power up that Pokemon of that same type, or evolve that Pokemon. So that is why you might want to transfer out. You might go through and be like, oh, I have 40 Pidgeys. When you sort them, you can sort them by combat or by name. The worst combat-powered Pidgeys will be at the very bottom of the list. You click on them, you can transfer those out. You probably aren't going to want to spend time powering those up. You'd rather power up one of your higher combat-powered ones because it wouldn't take as many dust and candy to power it up and then evolve it. It would be a lot less. So that's important. That's why candy matters. Again, the first time you catch it, it's 3 candy, and then a transfer is 1 candy. Also, when you catch Pokemon, when you do other things, you will get Poké Dust. The dust is 1 lump sum of dust for different things. For catching, it is not specific to a type of Pokemon. It's not Charmander dust. It's not Pidgey dust. Unlike the candies, it is just group dust. You use this dust to, like I said, power up the Pokemon. Do not waste your dust before level 5. There is no point to powering up any Pokemon. If you literally got your starter and you spent all your dust powering up that starter, well, first off, you probably can't, because I highly doubt you found another Charmander, Bulbasaur, or Squirtle to catch and to get candies, because it usually takes some number of dust and one candy minimum to power up that Pokemon one level. And you can see that level in the arc. When you're clicking on the Pokemon, there's an arc at the very top above the Pokemon. If the circle is all the way, the arc is all the way to the left, it is the lowest powered up. If it's all the way to the right, it is fully powered up and you can't power it up anymore. So those are all things that matter and things that you should not do when you're starting this game. As I said before, you probably want to go to Pokestops and find a park where you can go in a circle. I highly recommend that you start this loop and you turn on a incense. You received 2 when you started the game. They are in your Pokeball. Bottom right is items. Click that, scroll down, find incense, turn it on. It will stay on for 30 minutes and it attracts Pokemon. This is great because as you're going to walk around this loop, you're going to go to Pokestops, you're going to flip it, you're going to get more items, more Pokeballs, you're going to get other random items, which I won't tell you about yet, but there's lots of other items there. You're going to probably get eggs, which are important, and you're going to get these, and as you're going around, Pokemon are going to spawn, and you're going to want to click on them and try and catch them quick so you can start building up your collection. So as you continue this loop, your incense is still going. That increases all your chance. This will help you level up faster. Hopefully, in the first hour, if your battery lasts that long, excuse me, you can pop both those incense and you will have a plethora of Pokemon. Also, you don't have a ton of balls to use, so that's why usually it's best to start at a park where you can start this loop to constantly, every few minutes, go to another Pokestop and continue to resupply your Pokeballs. Because as you practice getting at throws, you will find Pokemon that will dodge the throws. You will find Pokemon that will have auras in effect, where you throw a ball and the ball just goes flying off the screen because they have something that is stopping that next throw. So be prepared, but that's why a start at a park is so good. Alright, battery power. Battery power on all our phones stinks with this game. One of the main battery sucks is not it that you can save is when you turn on the game in the top right hand corner, there's a settings and tips. Go to settings and turn on battery saver. It will help you in the long run. Trust me. The other thing, if you are going around and you see a Pokemon and you click on it, you are put into 2 different modes. You are put into the AR mode, alternate reality, and this will put the Pokemon in the real world, so your camera is turned on. You can turn your phone side to side until you find that Pokemon, and you can try and catch it that way. If you leave AR on, you are going to drain your battery faster. I recommend shutting it off. The only reason to leave AR on is if you're in an interesting place, or it's the first time you've seen that Pokemon and you're trying to catch it, or it's in, you're out in the park and you scroll around, you find it, and maybe that Pokemon's sitting on a bench, or you have a Pidgey that's sitting on your friend's shoulder. Cool. Turn AR on, leave the AR on, take a picture quick, but then shut AR off. Not only does it help you save battery, it also makes throwing a Pokeball easier. Why? Why does this may sound stupid, but this is tons easier. If AR is on, any movement of the phone, turning it left or right slightly as you're trying to throw the ball, will shift the Pokemon. So that circle that's slowly getting smaller and smaller and smaller will be more difficult to hit because as you throw the ball, if you turn your phone just a little to the left, then the ball is going to go to the same spot, but the Pokemon is now off to the side a little bit. This ruins your throw. If you leave AR off, the Pokemon is always in front of you and stays in front of you. It may go up and down, but it will not go side to side. So all you have to concentrate on is throwing the ball straight. This helps your throw. This makes it easier to throw nice throws and great throws. There's also a curve throw. This is very difficult and takes spinning the Pokeball. I've heard people shake their phone. I have not ever gotten that to work. I've always usually, instead of pushing forward on the Pokeball, I push to the side, and this sometimes starts the ball spinning, and then I throw. I've also seen people take the Pokeball and try to do a loop with their finger and bring their finger back over that circle at the end of the loop. I've tried this a couple of different ways. I've never gotten it to work properly, so I don't recommend it. However, Curveball does get you bonus XP, so if you pull it off, it's good, but really, Great Throw is still one of the best and easiest ways of getting good bonus experience. So, hopefully that helps you for your first few levels. It will get you walking plenty. You probably will have a 2-kilometer egg that may have hatched in this loop as you try to approach 5, or soon after you hit 5, that egg may hatch, but you have infinite incubators, so definitely use them. If you go to a Pokestop and one of the items you receive before level 5 is an incubator, definitely use it. It is a 3-use one incubator usually. Throw another egg in it as soon as possible. Yes, you only have 3 uses, but if you have 2 incubators, you want to be incubating 2 eggs, because regular eggs do not get closer to hatching unless they're in incubators. So please do this. There's a couple other small things that I talk about, but I'm not going to waste your time. There's some really advanced things like lure modules. I had a really rare experience where I was level 3, I hit a Pokestop, and I got a lure module. I didn't know what it was at the time, but it's actually an item that usually when you hit level 15, you're given your first lure module if you haven't gotten one randomly at a Pokestop. It's a very rare item. I got 2 before I was level 15 at Pokestops, and they're really useful, but don't use it really yet. We'll talk about it later, maybe between levels 5 and 10, or 10 to 15, on how to use lure modules effectively to benefit multiple people. I hope you guys like this beginning tutorial file. Hopefully it's useful. If you have more questions, please let me know. Leave comments, you can find me on Twitter at Drincalhar. I know it's not Cowboy Gamer. It is Drincalhar. I also go by Drincalhar in Pokemon Go. So if you ever see me, say hi, or you can find me on Go Chat as well under that. But hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, and Cowboy Gamer, sign out.